All right, we got BL one. Get drivers out of race 10, open sprint. Get a couple of you guys out here to marshal, please.
Hunter Willingham, Chris Heisterberg, Joe Krona, Mike Fleming.
All right, just waiting on marshals. I need a couple guys out of open sprint. All right, looks like I got some on the way. Thanks, guys. All right. Guys, roll them off. Here we go, off and underway. Race 1, BL2S. Let you guys get a couple laps in here, and then we'll start looking at your top 3 times. All right, so far got Mike up front, 21.6. Chris, a 22.0. Hunter, a 22.9. Watch high out of 2. High out of 2. It's clear. All right, now Mike still out front in this one, down to a 21.5 Hertz top 3. Chris 22.0, Joe 22.5, Hunter 22.9. Got 20 seconds left to go. Right now, Mike, the only one getting a sub 7 second lap there with a 6.9. Chris 7.2, Joe 7.1, Hunter is 7.1. That's time. Everybody keep going. Don't stop till you get called done. Keep them rolling, keep them rolling.
Mike Fleming done. Chris Heisterberg done. Joe Krona done.
That is
All
a race.
finished.
Everybody is done.
Hunter Willingham done.
And actually a lot changing there at the end. Joe ends up taking it with a 21.4. And then Hunter gets up to that 2 spot with a 21.5. Mike 21.5. Chris 21.8. I think those were Joe and Hunter's last 3 laps there. So getting it in right at the end. All right, we'll get those guys back out here to marshal. Race 2, street stock.
Corey Handler, Jeremy Cowhick, Daryl Smeltzer, John Tubbs, One minute to the start of the race. Max Cowhick, 45 seconds to the start of the race.
All right. Just waiting on a check from Dustin Thompson. I don't know if he's been by the line yet.
"30 seconds to the start of the race.
Nope. Go ahead and check your transponder real quick here and try to get you out there.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
Yeah. About halfway down the straight. No. All right.
Dustin Thompson.
All right. Here we go. Sort yourselves out and roll them off. All right, cross the line. You'll be on your own clock here. Let everyone get a few laps in, and then we'll start looking at your top 3 consecutive. All right, so far got Jeremy up front, 20.4, Max 20.8, Daryl a 20.9, Corey 21.2, Dustin 22.7, John 24.4. High out of 2. That's clear. Just over the halfway mark now. It's Jeremy, Max, Daryl. Now Dustin getting up there to that 2 spot. Max to the 3, Daryl 4, Corey 5, and John 6. Jeremy, though, going to have fast lap of the race, a 6.6 and a 20.4. Dustin with a 6.7 that time by his best lap. High into 1, high into 1. That's clear. High out of 2. And that's clear. All right, that's time. Everybody keep going. Don't stop till you get called done.
Max Cowhick done. Daryl Smeltzer done. Jeremy Cowhick done.
That is a race.
John
Everybody
done.
is done. All right.
All drivers are finished.
Jeremy takes that one at
Dustin
20.4. And then it was Dustin, Max, Daryl, Corey, and John rounding out the order. All right, we'll get those guys back out here to Marshall Race 3, open late model.
Jeremy Kathlina. One minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race. Brian Burnt, Lenny Blocker, Scott Miller, Jared Nidifer. 30 seconds to the start of the race. "15 seconds to the start of the race.
All right. Let's see here.
Phil Beard-Shear.
All right. There's no J-Mac, right? Is he here yet? Okay. All right, we'll finish up any last-minute tweaks here, and then we'll get him on the track. All right. Next time by, we'll go ahead and get him in turn one, and we will get you guys rolling here. All right. Sort yourselves out and roll them off. All right, crossing the line, you'll be on your own clock here. Let you get a few laps in, then we'll start looking at times. All right, so far got Jared up front, 17-8. Phil 18-4, Brian 18-7, Jeremy 18-8. And then Scott 19-0, Lenny 19-9. All the yellow cars getting together there. Just over halfway, high out of 2, low out of 2. And that's clear. Got 1 minute down, 30 seconds left to go. Still got Jared up front. It's now Brian to the 2, Scott 3, Phil 4, Jeremy 5, Lenny 6. Jared getting down to a 17-7 and has 5-8 hot lap of the race. High out of 2. High out of 2. Clear. And so Jared, Brian, Scott, Phil, Jeremy, and Lenny. And that's time, everybody. Keep going. Don't stop till you get called done. Keep them rolling. Keep them rolling. High out of high 3 and 4. High 3 and 4.
Jared Nidifer done.
It's clear.
Phil Beard-Shear done. Brian Burnt done.
All right, that's a race.
Scott Miller done. All drivers are finished.
All right, Jared takes that one
Jeremy
with a 17-7, followed by Brian, Scott, Phil, Jeremy, and Lenny. All right, we'll get those guys back out here to Marshall Race 4 SC Mod Light.
Robert Summers, Kyler Blocker, Tom Walker, Jim Gilbreth. 1 minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race. "30 seconds to the start of the race.
I know how to do it. I think I just gotta.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, got my drivers checked in. I got my marshals. Go ahead and get them in turn 1, and we will get this one rolling. All right, sort yourselves out and roll them off here. All right, here we go. Off and running here. Race 4, SC Mod Light. All right. Everybody got a few laps in here. Got Kyler up front, 19-2. Jim a 19-8. Tom a 23-2. Robert a 23-9. And now Kyler throwing down hot lap of the race, 5-9. Getting down to an 18-6 now that time by. Now Robert up to the 2 spot with a 19-8 top 3. And Tom getting down to a 19-3, so he's up to that 2 spot now. So it's Kyler, Tom, Robert, and Jim. Your running order. 20 seconds left to go. That's time, everybody. Keep going. Don't stop until you get called done.
Kyler Blocker done. Tom Walker done. Jim Gilbreth done.
All right, that is a race. Got Kyler taking that one with an 18-4. Then it was Tom, Robert, and Jim rounding out the order. Get those guys back out here to marshal race 5, 13-5 midget. You're not going to make it? I can't hear you. Just the main? All right, the midget guys have told me they just want to run the main. So we will skip over it for now. And that means 13-5 sprint will be up next. So you guys start heading out. I know you're expecting to have another race in there, so no rush. Got a couple minutes. In this race, we got Corey, Keith, Jeremy, Matthew, Austin, and Miles. And then it'll still be race 4 marshals. So we'll get drivers out of race 4 out here to marshal. No Austin? Okay.
"1 minute to the start of the race. 45 seconds to the start of the race. Matthew Schroeder. "30 seconds to the start of the race. "15 seconds to the start of the race. Keith Myers.
Yeah.
Miles Page.
All right, got a couple more to check in here, and then we will get this one rolling. All right, we'll get another marshal from our last race out there, and we will get going.
Jeremy Kathlina.
I mean, yeah, there were other people. All right, we'll get Corey checked in, and we will get this one going.
Corey Handler.
All right. Go to get him turn one. All right, sort yourselves out and roll them off. Off and underway, race 6, first heat of 13.5 sprint. Let you guys get a few laps in here, and then we'll start looking at times. High 1 and 2, high 1 and 2. Clear. Oh. High 3 and 4, high 3, high and a 3. That's clear. All right, so far we got Keith up front with a 17.8. Watch on front straight. That's clear. Keith with a 17.8. Miles a 18.7. Corey a 19.1. Matthew a 19.5. And Jeremy hasn't really got 3 in. All right. Okay. 30 seconds left to go. Got Keith up front with a 5.7 hot lap of the race running out front here. Miles a 6.1, Corey a 5.9. 15 seconds to go. That's time, everybody. Keep going. Don't stop until you get called done. Keep them rolling. Keep them rolling.
Corey Handler done. Keith Myers done. All drivers are finished.
That is a race.
Miles Page
All
done.
right. Keith takes that one with a 17-8, followed by Corey, Miles, Matthew, and Jeremy. All right, we'll get a couple of those guys back out here to marshal race 7, our second heat of 13.5 sprint.
One minute to the start of the race. Shane Schmidt. "45 seconds to the start of the race. Robert Summers. 30 seconds to the start of the race. "15 seconds to the start of the race. C4. Bob Portwood. Scott Miller.
All right, just waiting on a check from Victor.
Brian Bowers.
See if Victor is going to make this one. All right, go ahead and get him in turn 1. Finish up any adjustments, and we will get him on the track. Sounds like slipper. Oh, something's slipping. All right, roll him off. All right, cross line, you'll be on your own clock here. Let you get a few laps in, and we will start looking at times. All right, so far, got Brian up front, 17-0. C4 is 17-1. Shane is 17-7. Bob is 17-8. Robert at 19-1. Scott 22-0. Brian getting down to a 16-8 with 5-5 hot lap of the race. C4 with a 5-6. Shane with a 5-8. Bob with a 5-7. Robert with a 5-9. Scott with a 6-6. Got 20 seconds left to go. Still Brian up front. 5-5 that time by hot lap of the race. Still got C4 in the 2. Bob 3. Shane 4. Robert 5. And Scott 6. That's time, everybody. Keep going. Don't stop. Oh, watch it on the back. Low on the back.
Shane Schmidt done. C4 done. Brian Bowers done. All drivers are finished.
All right, that's a race.
Robert Summers done.
Brian taking that with a 16-8. And then it was C4, Bob, Shane, Robert, Scott. All right. We get those drivers back out here to Marshall. Race 8, first heat of Losi Wingless.
Dallas Boyd. Matthew Schroeder. Dustin Thompson. Hunter Willingham. One minute to the start of the race. Joe Crona. "45 seconds to the start of the race. "30 seconds to the start of the race.
All right.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
I got more drivers than I should up there. This should just be Joe, Hunter, Dallas, Matthew, and Dustin. So I think I got too many up there. Yeah, there's 2 heats. All right. Roll them off. All right, off and underway. Race 8, Losi Wingless. Heat 1 off and rolling. Let you guys get a few laps, and then we will start looking at times. All right, so far it's Dallas up front, 19-2. Matthew at 19-9. Hunter at 21-6. Dustin at 20.7. And Joe 22-0. Got 30 seconds left to go. High out of 4. It's clear. That's time, everybody. Keep going. Don't stop till you get called done. Keep them rolling. Keep them rolling.
Matthew Schroeder done. Dustin Thompson done. Joe Crona done. All drivers are finished.
All right, that's a race.
Dallas Boyd done.
Dallas takes that with a 19-0, followed by Matthew, Dustin, Joe, and Hunter. All right, we'll get those guys back out there to marshal race 9, second heat of Losi. Got Chris, Max, Jeremy, and Mike in this one.
Jeremy Cowhick. Max Cowhick. Chris Heisterberg. Mike Fleming. 1 minute to the start of the race.
All right, we'll get him over here in turn 1.
45 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, roll him off. Cross line, you'll be on your own clock here. Let you get a few laps in, then we will start looking at times. $45 down, 45 to go, halfway into this one. Got Max out front, 21.5. Jeremy right there with the 21.5 as well. Mike at 20.7 and Chris 20.5. Oh, that's weird. So now it's Mike up front, down to a 19.3, Chris a 19.6, Jeremy a 20 flat, Max a 21.0. Everyone's speeding up quite a bit there in the second half. 10 seconds left to go. That's time, everybody, keep going. Don't stop until you get called done.
Jeremy Cowhick done. Mike Fleming done. All drivers are finished.
All right, that is a race.
Chris
Everybody
Heisterberg
is done. Mike takes that one with a 19.3. And then Chris, Jeremy, and Max. So Dallas is top seed. All right, we'll get those guys back out here to Marshall. Last seeding race, race 10 open sprint. Got Phil, Jared, Brian, Jason, Jeremy, Brian, and Austin in this one. We'll get a couple guys from that last one back out there.
1 minute to the start of the race. Austin Smith. 45 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, start getting everyone checked in.
"30 seconds to the start of the race. Jeremy Kathlina. Jared Nidifer. Phil Beardshear. 15 seconds to the start of the race.
High out of Fort. All right, got a couple more to check. All right, there's Brian and
Brian Bowers. Brian Burnt.
All right, we'll make any final adjustments here, and then we will get this one rolling. All right, we'll go ahead and get him in turn one. Let's get this one going. Oh. Yes. All right, sort yourselves out. Roll them off. Oh, watch coming in a 3. Low into 3, low into 3. That's clear. All right, we will let you guys get a couple more laps in here, and then we'll start looking at times. Watch it out of 2. High out of 2. All right, so far got Brian Bowers up front. A 16.4 for his top 3. Jeremy is 17.2. Brian is 17.6. Phil is 17.8. Austin a 20 flat. And Jared a 19.9. Brian so far 5.3 hot lap of the race, moving him up to the top spot with a 16.2. He's going to be that blue and yellow coming down the front stretch. Got 15 seconds left to go. It's Brian Burnt, Brian Bowers, Austin, Jeremy, Phil, and Jared. Brian Burnt down to a 16.2. Brian Bowers down to a 16.4. Austin a 16.7 in that number 3 spot. Jeremy now getting up there with a 16.7 up to the 3.
Jeremy Kathlina done.
Don't stop until
Phil
you get called done, guys.
Brian Burnt done. All drivers are finished. Brian Bowers done.
Hey, you guys are good. You don't got to blow. Last race. That was the last one. Hey, you're good, guys. You're good, guys. That was the last one. We're blowing it off ourselves. All right. Thank you, though. All right. We got the heat sheets posted up, guys. Go ahead and check them out. See what races you're going to be in. And try to know where you're starting as well, please. That'll help us just keep things moving along. Finishing up the track prep here, and we will let you know when we're getting started with race 1.